So let's go on to the moderately good income. So between 2,500 and
Mm-hmm.
4,000.
4,000, that's a pretty
Yeah.
good range, to be honest. You could do a lot with that. I also want to mention, even at the lower level, you can still save. It will not be at the big amount of savings that you would normally have. But you can still save in regards to whether it's a little bit, because people think savings is going to be a big grand thing. Small
Mhm.
numbers still add up to big goals.
Yeah.
But in regards to 2,500 to the 4,000, with that, you are able to, you can start to build a savings for that,
Mhm.
right? Normally, ideally, I would say, normally with savings, you look at least 20% of your income, but you don't have to start at 20%. You can
Mhm.
start at 5%, 10%, but you want to have something in savings, right? Also, as well, too, in that bucket, you will find persons might have some debt too in there, but you don't want the debt. You want the debt to make sense. So when you get into debt, make sure it's debt that is towards income generating assets, like a
Mhm.
house that would make equity back for you. But we know not me around that
Mhm.
range, people might look for the first vehicle, right? Or
Mhm.
get a vehicle. This could be a payback around 7 somebody or 8 somebody, in some instances maybe 9, right?
Mhm.
So it will vary. But you
Mhm.
also want to start as well too, if you can, look at some investing, because the younger you start with investing, the better, right? It means that you don't have
Yeah.
to contribute as high because you got a runway in front of you that you got to kind of help plan. So with that income, you could do a lot and still be able to reach some of your goals while paying your bills as well. But it's just about
Mhm.
having a foundation, like beyond the bills now that you got to pay per month. Do I have savings, right? If I have debt, what type of debt do I have? And am I servicing my debt well, meaning I'm paying back the
Mhm.
debt properly? Can I get
Mhm.
into investing? What type of
Mhm.
investment what they want to do? Is it mutual funds? Is it bonds? That's the type of
Yeah.
conversation you want to be able to have. And
Oh.
again, I'm just speaking about these things in the, well, of course, if you have children and all these different things, it will change the dynamics of the situation.
Yeah.
But the income is still sufficient that you can still survive,
Yeah.
right? What I
Yeah.
would say is that as the income gets bigger, the main thing is this: do not over leverage yourself and get into unnecessary debt.
Mm.
I just can
Okay.
keep saying it because, as I
Mhm.
said, debt is no respect to a person. The higher up you go, the more people borrow.
Yeah.
But there's something
Mhm.
called lifestyle inflation. The more money you get, the more things you want,
Mhm.
right? Lifestyle creep comes into play. So you need to
So
be very, very careful. So that's why I said, if you were able to operate at the 1,500 to 2,000 foot problem, and you life
mhm.
ain't really change in a big way, and you get promoted
Mhm.
to 1,200 to 4,000, still operate
Mhm.
with the 2,000 that you the earning. You can live a little
Mhm.
bit, but if you were working pretty good at the 2,000, like if the additional money income,
Yeah.
and put it towards some goals,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because those steps are gonna help you in the long term. Those
Oh.
decisions that you make, those sacrifices you make now are gonna help you in the long term. It might not feel good in the moment, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you'll be living a lifestyle other people wish they were living
Mm.
when you get to that end point. I'm telling you, right?
It's
So
so
you don't
true.
have to be, you can have balance, you can enjoy, because it means you're working, you can enjoy life, but still do things in moderation.
Oh yeah. I agree. Okay, right. So before you had mentioned about putting some of that money into savings.
Yes.
Where would you put that? So I'm thinking of a bank that honestly like helps you with that. So I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking of like Sagicor Bank.
Yes.
They have like certain products and that give you a higher percentage. It starts at 2% and then goes above depending on which product that you use. And you can start your savings and building your savings from that. Okay, so now that we're kind of on the topic of like savings and all of that, I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to touch on a high yield savings account. I don't think that we have um like the concept of like a high yield savings account in Barbados. Um
That would be Sagicor.
okay, okay.
They don't have a brick and mortar. They don't have a brick and mortar location. They have the head office,
Mhm.
one head office, but all
Mhm.
their products and everything is online, and they
Mhm.
use an app, so
Okay.
you can get everything you want through the app.
Okay.
So a high yield savings account would be a Sagicor Bank, and
Okay.
their
Mhm.
interest rates will be, they have 1.5, and then the expert saver is 2%, right?
Okay.
So that would be considered a high yield bank for us in Barbados.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, because I like that the last part you said hey you SMS count for us because I was there like even comparing it to what I've seen mainly like in the US where the interest rates are higher
Uh-huh.
and like 4%
Of
and
course.
above based on like what I've kind of like seen from them. But like you are completely correct when you said a 2% is sufficient for us. I was saying that like inflation, and so like I think every single year inflation is like 2% or 3%, and so like sometimes that 2% like may not be enough. I guess
Hmm.
if you don't touch it and you keep on putting more and more, it would grow. But I also do think that the budget would also help you if you maintain your spending to a low minimum that your savings goal could equal your expenses.
So that's why, like, so all right, so I got you, you're mentioning this because when it comes to savings in particular, savings are not meant to be, you're not, so you have your savings goals, but
Mhm.
once you reach your savings goal, the main way to increase your wealth is through investing. So
Yes.
what you will do is that you will have the savings accounts for the benefit of your goals, whether it is a down payment for a home, whether it is to travel,
Mhm.
whether it is an emergency fund. You have that for that purpose. But then
Mhm.
once you've reached that purpose, then you any money that comes outside of those goals now, you then shift it into investing, and the investments are now what the rate of return on the investments will be way higher than inflation because
Mhm.
it takes into account inflation and high cost of living.
Okay.
So savings will never give you the rate of return that an investment product would. So therefore, it can't go in with the expectation that you would get a return. So the purpose of savings is not for you to try to save this after wealth or a thing that you've beaten a
Yeah.
system. That's
Yeah.
not the purpose of it at all, right? The purpose of saving is to have a place to house your money while
Mhm.
you save up for a particular purpose. And once that purpose has been met, you then
Mhm.
take that excess money now and redirect it into an investment product. That's how it's
Oh
dealt
yeah.
with,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Thank
people,
you.
and that's based on your risk profile. Whether you are
Mhm.
someone that's averse, you like safety, or whether you're someone that doesn't mind taking risks, then
Mhm.
you will put your money to suit, understanding that when you invest, there is potential risk of losing something, right? It is
Mhm.
not
Oh yeah.
it's not foolproof. Things
Mhm.
can happen.
Yeah.
But never look at savings as the end all be all. That's not the purpose of savings
Mhm.
at all, right? So as you
Mhm.
mentioned correctly, if there is I think the governor had mentioned about a 1.4% average rate percentage change in regards to inflation. And if the account is offering 2%, that 2% and that 1.5 is also every quarter, not
Mhm.
every month either, right? So it's
Yeah.
really based on what your balance is in the account as at the quarter, right? So
Mhm.
my thing is that it's still better though than
Mhm.
0.01%,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no comparison in regards to when you look at other institutions, right? They're not offering as it's not as attractive. So
Mhm.
it's still in a better place to be in
Yeah.
regards to earning something still better.
Mhm.
But the whole aim of that is that it's holding money for you until you reach the purpose and the goals, and then you shift your focus then to
Mhm.
investing, right? But it's not to
Mhm.
stop at savings. It's to go to the next level.
Mhm.